feel like I spelled your name wrong on this
You
tape.
did, and that's
Uh,
okay. It happens all the time. Letters get left off,
it,
letters get added.
it's interesting because there's a guy that works at Red Arga. His last name is Schmidt, but it's got
Mhm.
like an extra T in it, I think. So
Oh, okay.
it's like I'm destined to get these things wrong. So I just miss silent letters. I guess that's my problem.
It's fine. The original spelling, because back in the day, you just spelled however you wanted to,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
and it would change, you know, depending. And the original spelling was Szulc,
that's interesting.
and I didn't believe. My grandmother would tell me that. Like for a while, I was like, "Is this Alzheimer's?" And then I met someone that had that name, and I was like, "Oh, I guess that is a real thing. It's just not common."
Yeah, yeah.
So misspelling the last name is it's a family tradition.
What's interesting is a lot of families that immigrated here, um, their names got butchered, like
Hmm.
at Ellis Island, because they were just the form didn't allow the long name to be filled out, or they just misheard it, or what have you. But um, I think that's kind of fascinating. Like you to go back and do research on your family that
Hmm.
might not even have the same name.
Well, yeah, that's the case. And then it's spelled there one way, and then on another document it's spelled a different way because you're just like, I don't know, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
why.
funny.
It's just like spelling was not a priority, I guess. I don't.
Hey, we're
Uh
on.
oh, but I hear an echo now.
I'm going to turn that guy off. All right, we are officially. Let's do this thing.
All right.
Welcome, Eric, to the show. Welcome, Eric, and your sweet flow. I was going to say board game, but card game. But maybe it could be a board game. It's a
Could
it's
be.
a
Yeah.
game on a table. So glad to have you. I love having special guests. Frankly, it lets me make less content.
Well, Tom, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And as you know, I'm a longtime fan, right? I've watched you for quite a long time, and I just think it's one of the coolest things on Switch, right?
I appreciate that. And
And
that's why I thought your thing was perfect for the show. Like we're not making. I mean, you made a game. It just doesn't happen to be quote unquote on platform, but it's platform adjacent, right? If that
platformish.
platform.
Well, what's that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna. So, you want to tell us a little bit about what? And I keep calling it flow card games, but maybe you've got a
yeah, it
better
doesn't
name for
really
it.
have a name. And where this is the first time we're going to play test it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I haven't, I mean, it's a kind of a tough sell. Like when you're saying, hey, you want to play a game? Yeah, sure. You want to play a game where we do something productive? I don't know about
You
that.
want to play a game where you need in-depth knowledge of a technical
Yeah,
platform?
yeah. But okay, so you've spent time using Salesforce to build games like
Yeah,
Forceopoly and rock paper scissors. I think it's really cool. But what if we were to flip it around? What if we were to? Then that's the idea. Like, what if we were to use a game to figure out what we could build,
yeah,
and kind of even think of it like, what if solving problems, you know, was as easy and engaging as sitting down at a table with friends and playing a game?
hmm
And like, wouldn't that be? I don't know. I think that would be kind of a cool thing to at least see if that's like that's a thing that we could do. Doesn't happen, um, but I'm hoping after 2 or 3 hours we do this, we could kind of come back and say, yeah, that's worth doing more of,
yeah.
or we could come back and say, you know what, let's never do that again. But
Well,
that's part of playtesting, right? And
exactly. Yeah.
um, you build software like that too. It's iteratively. You can do other things. Um, so what I have here is um, we have two environments. One is called Tabletopia, and there are several different um platforms that let you do like tabletop games.
hmm
So I don't know. Do you play tabletop games at all with friends?
Um, let's see. A few. Uh, we play this game called Super Fight. which
Oh,
is you basically you deal out cards, and it's sort of like Cards Against Humanity, but with a little less raunch, I guess. So you deal out cards, and they have like they're basically three phrases, right? So it's like a
mm,
pirate wearing an astronaut suit, um, riding an octopus, right? And those are three different cards and they're all, and I just picked a pirate theme, but that's not necessarily what you get. You get, a pirate in a spaceship, carrying a meat cleaver, whatever. So then you go like 3 rounds with your friends, and you discard, or you can discard and trade off and stuff like that. And then at the end of the 3 rounds, you basically try to convince each other who's the strongest superhero and who literally would win the fight, essentially. So you have to like craft your own character, and then
oh
also
wow.
rationalize why one would beat the other. So that's about it, though. That's kind of my extent. Besides Uno and
Yeah, yeah.
other stuff like that.
So there are several platforms. Some are two-dimensional and some are three-dimensional, and they have the kind of things that you would expect. Like you have cards, you can shuffle them, you can put it in your hand, you can have a board, you can have pieces. I like Tabletopia because, well, it's in a browser. I can just send you a link. You
Mm-hmm.
could join, um, which, yeah, you're there. You're there.
Am I here? Here, let
Uh,
me. I'm just looking for this off on the other screen while we keep talking. But
the one thing though is, and I think they became a lot more popular when everyone had to stay in their house because there was that thing that happened.
yeah,
um,
the, he who shall not be named.
yeah, the thing that happened where we stayed in our house and then
Yeah.
we played virtually and whatnot. But one of the, I don't know if it's a downside, but it's just what it is. I think they're kind of based on regular games, and so when I was thinking of like the flow game, uh, one of the things that would be useful is to be able to write on cards. Say if you had
Mm-hmm.
them actually physically, you could have like a Sharpie to draw arrows. So that's not something that we can do. That's why we have two different environments: Tabletopia, and then Excalidraw is like a typical whiteboard,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Miro, but it's kind of quick and easy. Um, but when I talk about like, hey, after 2 or 3 hours, this is a typical way of sort of validating an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Is that or it's one of several different ways. Is let's take and mash up two different services and then see like, does it have is it worth doing more? Because
Mm-hmm.
you could theoretically on most of these platforms you could build your own component too,
Mm-hmm.
just like Salesforce. So we could find someone that knew Lua or whatnot to build it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Can you take us through this
yeah,
deck that you've
yeah.
got up here?
So there really are two decks, and the first one is just 5 cards. And so one of the first things that we're going to probably want to know is we're going to start with a use case. I got a couple, but if you have some, and think about how should it start,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then from there, uh, come on, go back. uh, this has all of the things that you probably could typically do in a flow, or really kind of just any like no code platform where you
Mm-hmm.
want to build user interfaces, integrations, and automations. So there are data operations, faults, loops, and hopefully I got most of them,
Mm-hmm.
but if not, we can always open up Illustrator and create a new card quickly
Yeah.
uh, and do that. So
And I'm just looking on my other screen here to kind of follow along with you. But I swear I'm not checking my email over here.
so before kind of like we jump in,
Mm-hmm.
um, one of the think of some context setting on like what's a game, right? uh there's a famous author, who writes about this all the time, Jane McGonigal. She's amazing. She comes up with, they're not games that you play for fun so much, but they are fun. But they're games that have purpose, right? That are trying to achieve something. So, for instance, if you want to reduce the anxiety for people that are on a plane, she's got this collaborative game that people can play while they're on a plane so that they can, reduce anxiety. It's designed specifically for that. And she kind of talks about there are three things all games have in common. It's voluntary participation. I'm not coercing you to do this, right, Tom?
No, then it would be work, right?
Yeah. There is an objective.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play and find out who is the best superhero, or we're going to collaborate and do something. And in this case, I mean, we can pull out a use case that we think we could solve using flow, and that will be our objective. And then we're going to kind of work it. And the most important element that kind of gets glossed over is, what are the rules? Because you could have different rules, they have different outcomes. You could even measure that, like, is it fair? Is it fun? Is it efficient? And so when you think of it, just those three things, there are a lot of things that would be quote unquote games, right? And you see it like in planning poker and agile or dot voting, stuff like that. They're games. And if you don't like the term games, you could say collaborative activities or something else, right? But it doesn't change the fact that, there are those three elements, and I don't see a lot focus on even just experimenting with that, right? And I think there's tremendous games that are a tremendous way to learn, and they're fun. It can be fun if they're designed that way. And so, all right, so I'll get off my soapbox. And do you want to give it a shot?
Sure. Yeah. Let's Calvin ball our way through this thing a little bit.
Okay. So I have a couple that I think are just standard issue use cases, and then try to come up with some that are weird and complex. So how about this one? When an opportunity is closed won,
okay,
if there's a product that has been marked requires onboarding, let's create a task for the opportunity, the team members on the opportunity that are in the role of customer success.
Okay, I'm game.
Okay. The first thing
to write that down in Tabletopia and like put it on screen.
That's the thing. Like, there's no real writing in this one, and that's why it's like here. But so let's say it's here. Okay, so. Like I said, if it's like, hey, this is really, come on, I need you to, okay.
There's the Zoom. Okay. It's my first time in here. I'm just getting my bearings a little bit.
Why am I? Oh, maybe it's too small. Okay. It'd be nicer if it's bigger. Okay. Let's see. When an opportunity is closed, one, assign an onboarding task to customer success team members if there is a product that requires onboarding. And I won't go into like, why does someone want to do that? I don't know, because it'll be efficient.
This is a rich. This is dense. Like there's a lot of stuff to process here in even just a short, definition. So plenty to chew on for us.
What's that?
Plenty for us to chew on here.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it might be a good starting use case.
Hmm.
If it's too complex, then we can, scale it back. But okay, so the first thing is uh, come back.
Do you think this is kind of like Go Fish, where because I know what card I'm after. I want me that record triggered uh, flow, but
Well, I want to try a different rule set
okay,
first. Okay, so I have two decks here, and it's called the fancy term is called pairwise assessment.
okay,
But the idea is you're going to have your deck there, I'm going to have mine, and we're going to bring out two, and we're going to compare them. And then whichever one is the one that is better suited, you keep it, you discard it,
okay,
you pull out another card, you compare them. And so the idea is we're better at comparing two things than say you had like 40 options.
hmm,
It is a lot harder to kind of go through that
yeah,
all those options. You're going to get fatigued and whatnot. And so there are some smart people at MIT that came up with this uh, thing that they use during hackathons because you have a judge and you have hundreds of projects.
hmm,
And this really works effectively. You compare each project, put the one that keep the one that is better, and you just keep on going until there's no more. So
yeah,
if we both do this at the same time, and then we reveal at the end, what did we pick? I don't know. That might be interesting,
yeah.
right? So I'm gonna go about and compare mine.
Full disclosure, I can totally cheat and watch what you're doing, but I'm not gonna.
Oh,
It's nice and
oh,
small over here. Um, and then I assume so you just pulled cards. What is that like your hand now? So if we were playing normal, like well let me pull some of mine. So I'll put them down here
yeah. Well,
and
you could cheat, or you could focus on your task.
yeah, yeah. So
um,
I have a card up right now, but you're not able to see that.
mhm.
You know, is there a way to zoom in on the card?
Yeah, if you press space, if you double click on it, and I think there's something else that lets you do it,
Okay,
but yeah, space.
gotcha. Okay.
So
Should I just do? Should I draw, pick the better, toss, and then draw again?
yeah, you're
Okay.
basically going through the whole deck, and
Yep.
you're keeping the one that you think is the better of the two options, and you're
Hmm.
discarding the one. Yeah, you're discarding the other one,
Got it.
and eventually at the end, by and large, you should have what is the best option to that you thought, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and again, this is 5 cards, but imagine you're trying to go through 100 projects,
Right.
in a hackathon. This is a really quick and easy way to kind of sort, kind of get to like,
Hmm.
I think these are the best ones. Now, if 10 people do it at the same time, and you take the average, then you end up with what everyone thinks is, the best option. So, what was it? Okay. Opportunity close one, sign an onboarding task.
So I feel like I've got one that I could play.
Are you already through it?
Well, I found a record changes. Uh, that's what I would start with. But should I keep processing my deck?
I would, yeah,
Okay.
because
All right.
let's say you
I'm gonna
you
look at
know
that
you
now.
know most of them are going to be, but what if and think about like
How many cards does each person get at the start of the game?
I think when we get to this deck, I was thinking like, hey, let's just take four.
Hmm.
We'll get there in a second, but uh, oh, okay. You tell me when you're ready and you've gone through your. Oh, where's this one? Is that yours? That's yours.
Oh, I took the whole thing. Oh no. Undo.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. Just move it back.
There we go.
All right. You have your, how you think it should start, and I do. You want to like 1, 2, 3 reveal?
Yeah. Let's. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
That was weird. Put that over there. I do want to keep that one though. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a kind of I was thinking though, like, is it a subflow or something like that? But okay.
Well, I mean, you
Hey,
could,
we
so we could schedule this to run every
yeah.
night because we have 10 million opportunities and 5,000 of them are updating every day. And
Hmm.
I don't know, doing it in real time would, cause maybe there's some cross object strife that comes in here at some point. But
Yeah.
record changes make sense. I think so.
Yeah. I think what's interesting, I mean, you could tell me, like, if I were in a room with people and said, "Hey, we're going to solve this," and someone were to raise their hand and say, "Hey, we should do this," and someone disagreed, uh, now you're right. You're in a kind to me, it seems like you're in a situation where it's confrontational,
Hmm.
right? Now I have to challenge you, or I have to, just sit in the back and not say anything. Where
Yeah.
I think if we had different answers, I personally would be curious. Like, why would you think that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we could discuss it, and it would not be confrontational. It'd be more based on curiosity. So
Right.
that's what I mean. Like, hey, could we have rules that achieve different things?
Yeah.
Anyway, I know I'm making
Well,
a lot of just a couple cards, but
no, I mean, I think
kind of.
that concept is interesting, and I think what is it? Like the if you're familiar with the design sprint
Mhm.
methodology, right? Like they bake that into it on purpose, so that you come together, you state problems, everybody walks away, works on their own solutions. It's like I think solutioning is sometimes not a team sport. Like you need to be able to go away and have your thoughts and be able to be open about them. Because, like you said, like sometimes the loudest voice in the room will win if if we're trying to do it as a group in real time. Whereas so this is sort of like real time, but like fast. It's like your own little private, your own little private deck that I could lay it out, and then be like, hey,
Mhm.
what about mine? And then we could each have a deck and kind of talk about it as we after we lay it all out.
Yeah, I think I liked it too. It's like these are just like little mini worksheets.
Yeah.
They're there's nothing special about the cards, right? They're just cards,
Hmm.
and but you could, yeah, just like design sprints, you see that a lot, where it's like these are the rules, everyone gets 3 dots, and you vote and whatnot,
Yeah.
and so once you start, that's why I wanted to kind of have that little context, because once you kind of have those 3 things that make a game, you start to see it everywhere.
Yeah.
Things that you would never consider games, and I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. Okay, so if we're going to start with a record, well, it's when it was updated, one equals true. I don't know if there's any other conditions that we need.
Do we do this? Do we only do this when it changes to true?
Ah, that's right, because we don't want to keep on firing it over and over and over.
And then by that rationale, I wonder, is there ever a oops? I closed one that, but I actually didn't. um, and do it. Do you need some kind of flag that indicates that the thing was done? So even if it gets unwon, or do we need
One.
to have unwon wipe out the stuff? That's maybe a different user
Mhm.
story, but we can probably stick with the one we have here.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we table that and
Yeah,
see if
absolutely.
that comes out.
Yeah, that's a different user story. We'll,
Well, I have an idea too, but I almost want to see if it kind of pans out when we're playing,
yeah, yeah.
what happens. But
What do you think about synchronous, asynchronous? I see you had like now and later on the bottom of the card.
Well, that's what. Yeah. Gosh darn it! Why does it keep on kicking me out? But that's kind of what I was thinking. I was wondering. Well, all right, let's get to it. I was wondering if like if I do fat finger it and say, oh, it's one. Oops. Would I mean, I guess we're here. Would starting it later, like tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
given this, like, hey, we're going to go and create all these tasks so that there is, to your point, um, hey, I need to, you have a day to kind of come back and say,
Mm-hmm.
oops, that was the wrong opportunity. Uh, verse. So that's one way I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
that we could, I had the same concern too, as like, oh, great. I'm new. I accidentally clicked it. Everyone's got these tasks. Now everyone's confused. That might be a good place for async. Or, yeah, we create uh, fields to recover or retract
Yeah.
what we said.
Well, maybe for now, so at least we know that when this thing changes to one, then we're good. That was really weird. I don't know what's going on with
It wants me to play.
your. It wants your full attention to keep it active.
All right. So, all right, we know how to start it.
Yep.
And then I'm thinking the way that this goes is that uh, we take 4 cards each. We're going to go in turns. You play a card and update the Xcal draw. I'll play a card, update Xcal draw, and always draw back up to 4. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of just a typical way that a game would work. Uh, if I can't think of anything, maybe I discard all my cards and draw back up to 4 to get something new.
Yeah.
And we're play testing, so again, we could see. But if you can, well, let me give it a shuffle. And so when you right click in the hand, you can say like, uh, let me try that again.
Draw 4. I see.
There is where I picked the wrong one. It's this draw into your hand. What does this one do? Oh, take. Okay.
I'm gonna. I had 5. I'm just gonna toss one here. Let's see.
Do you want me to kick it off? You want to kick it off?
How did you get all of yours to flip over?
Oh, if you do an F on the card, it'll
Uh-huh.
flip over. And if you want it in your hand, you can just drag it to the bottom of the screen.
Got it. Okay. All right. I've got 4 in my hand,
Oh, you do? Okay.
and I figured out how to flip them all over, so I'm doing good now.
Well,
There's some
fortunately,
stuff here I
just
can
about
do.
every platform like this works exactly as F means flip.
Yeah.
Um,
All right. Well, opportunity is closed one. Assign an onboarding task to customer success team members if there is a product that requires onboarding. So I think I want to get the opportunity lines and indirectly the products that are associated with this opportunity so I
okay.
can make a decision whether or not I even need to run this thing.
All right.
And I would, select opportunity line items where I'm going to assume that the needs onboarding is somehow, articulated on the product, maybe, or on the opportunity line. I guess a salesperson could have to pick that, but either
Right.
one, I would then filter down to see if I've got any that any records that come back.
Yeah. I feel like something like this is good for it's kind of like a sculpture, right? You're not really
Mm-hmm.
getting to the very specifics. It's,
Mm-hmm.
hey, we're just trying to get a general idea. So we could probably say whatever it is that you think, like, hey, there's a field on opportunity line item. But later on, when we actually build it, then we'll, figure out exactly what it should be. But
Yep.
just that, we're Uh, I could, well, maybe just for the sake of demonstration first. So you said get records. So what I have here is that on this side, we can copy and paste. And do you want me to fill it out? You want to fill it out?
Let's see. I'll fill it out. This was my
Okay,
turn. I gotta do some work around here, right?
good, because I'm going to go get coffee.
Okay. A little too little verbose there, but let's see. So opportunity ID is the record. And product. I'm going to live in a world where the products define the needs OB, I guess. Is true.
It's collaborative, right?
Yeah.
So I could come back and say, I don't know if I agree with that, and change it, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
we can have a discussion about that. And but I don't really, I personally don't have an opinion yet. So, and I'm going to have cards that let me do that. So, uh,
The other thing I wonder, at this point is, I just have to read the problem statement again. Um, Sounds like we're just assigning the success team to the opportunity. I wasn't sure if there needs to be any more specificity that says, "Hey, this success team member is going to be responsible for onboarding X versus Y
uh,
versus Z." Again, not to invent requirements, but just sort of like that, because actually that answering that would help me understand. Do I just need to pick one, or do I need to pick multiple? Because if I just want to say, yeah, this opportunity is associated with something that has a product that needs onboarding, I'll be efficient and just get the first record and be like, okay, I got one,
yeah,
so I'll go do stuff now. But if I needed to know more about them, I probably would pick more, query more records out.
I think we just stick with this right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's what it is. But yeah, might need a way to sort of have a, what do they call it? Um, where you just kind of throw ideas off to this other board for later,
Mm-hmm.
you know, questions and
Parking
stuff like
lot kind of stuff.
parking lot. Yeah, parking lot. Well, yeah,
But can I move this guy around? I assume. Put it over here again.
yeah,
So I played my turn. Now
yeah.
what would you do?
Oh, okay.
Do you piggyback off of that, or is that like, I can piggyback? We can move forward, or you can throw out a different card and a different idea that we could then talk about.
Okay.
Append or replace.
Yeah, right. I have update records, assign variables, move over a collection. I Okay. I know we need to. Okay, I'm gonna just start with what I think, and then let me draw back up. We're going to need to update records, right? So somewhere
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have a task collection. Task. Of type task.
I'm posting a note to a couple of people that I think would be curious to observe this.
No, we are creating tasks. I don't think there's any. We're creating it, so there's no filter collections, and then we're going to have to subject equals how are we going to note that? Oh, I guess would that be more helpful to say like so we know that this is some kind of variable?
Mm-hmm.
No, it does. No, we're just gonna have we're just gonna have a collection of tasks, and this is just updating it. We don't need to assign anything here. Just whatever those tasks were, however they got created.
Do you think the tasks will be created before they would be updated?
Well,
Or would, I
oh,
guess would there be two steps there?
oh shoot.
You know what I like about what you're doing right now, Eric, is like it allows this conversation to be asynchronous a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we know there's some stuff between selecting the opportunity line items and creating the tasks, but
Yeah.
by nature of you picking that card and having kind of like, let's say it's the only card you have to play, quote unquote, then like we're making it work, you know, and we're sort of looking at it from, you know, backing in from different directions.
Yeah, and I'm taking it back because we're like we're creating things. So I think I'm changing my mind. We're gonna loop over a collection.
Okay.
Because I really I went, oh, we're creating tasks. So, but loop over a collection, which should be that's what I should have done first. It's going to be a team member collection. Nope. Team member collection loop. Oh, I didn't have to put in too much. Just
Bam.
okay. So and that makes sense, right? Because we're gonna need to get the team members, and we're gonna have to loop to create the tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere, and you know, there might be stuff between this and this, but it's kind of like we know we're kind of like I think we're like these are the facts. These are the things I know the most that this probably exists. All right, so my turn's done. And we're gonna have to stay in Tabletopia more, I guess.
Now, let's see. I've got some options here. So we're gonna. So far, we on the table we have getting the products, opportunity line items, and checking to see if we have any results. I don't have anything that I can play immediately after that, but yours is related to creating the tasks, right? So looping over the team members.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we just know that we're gonna have to loop over the team members.
Yep. Can I discard and pull another?
That's what I was thinking. Like, hey,
Okay.
just if you don't like your hand, discard it, pull 4 more, and
I'm gonna go with draw 1.
I would think that the like why do this
Mm-hmm.
to give you the to stop from just jumping to what you think is the answer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to really consider, like, are there things here that I have that,
So I have this resource card,
okay.
and we were talking about maybe the subject of these tasks that need to be created.
Hmm.
So I might make the subject, maybe the subject is configurable somewhere. So maybe I'm using a label, or maybe I'm using some custom metadata to be able to store it not directly in the flow. Or maybe I just default it to go do the thing, guys, right? And then when we're eventually building out or creating the tasks, we could reference this there.
Gotcha.
Let me see if I can find the resource
You're on the,
down here.
yeah.
All right. Let's see, does my resource flavor, okay, yeah, I can do a text template there. And I'll just move the little checkbox around, maybe.
Yeah, if you double click on it, it's gonna,
Okay.
go inside. Yeah, there you go.
So we'll say that's a text template. And then this is going to be yep. Okay, make that a little wider. Label.
I put this together quickly. I should have.
Oh yeah, I know, it's all should have been perfect, Eric. Like, come on. All right, that's my swing with
Okay. Okay.
the cards. The other cards I have, I don't have anything great to
Yeah.
to work with them right now. But
You mind if I just keep it over into this,
yeah,
like,
oh
and
yeah.
that should kind of mirror a little bit like what it looks like in the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And what is subject.
Oh, my bad. Yep, I missed that.
Subject text template. Ooh. Okay. Well, fortunately, it's not too hard to jump back in. So. I feel like we're gonna need to assign a variable. Oh, I got a better idea on how to change the rules. But okay. The way I've done this, and I don't know if there's a better way, but it's like new task assignment. Subject equals, and then you had that subject text template. Description equals description text template. Got it. You okay if we change the rules slightly?
Yeah.
How about this? Like at the end of your turn,
Mm-hmm.
you can discard as many cards as you want and just draw back up to 4.
Okay.
That way you're not stuck with like, hey, I got this bulk of stuff that I don't know what to do with. Like, I'm not. Where's the discard? No. Yeah. Not stuck with a bunch of things that I'm not sure what to do with yet. And then. All right.
Cool. All right. We probably need to I gotta stare at the statement again. All right, I'm tossing one. I got nothing there. Let's see. That's exactly what I just picked up. Okay. Try again. I got duplicates of you. I'm going to keep that one, but there's no reason to use it right now. I feel like I'm going to burn the whole deck here, Eric. I don't need to do that either. Okay. Subject. Customer success team members. Okay. There we go.
It's okay. I mean, that's right. It's playtesting. I wish. Yeah.
We got to get these team members, right? I think because here we got the opportunity line items, and now we got to figure out how to get these team members. Let me get back over to the thing here. So, can I copy paste?
Yeah. Just and it's just whatever command C, command V.
Do you think these are we making an assumption that like an opportunity team is being managed, or and there's probably a couple of type customer service somehow?
Yeah, like a role equals customer success. Yeah.
I forget the exact name of the object, but say that.
I think it is opportunity team member.
So we're going to query based on the opportunity, and then some kind of role equals customer. I'll just say CS. And then I think I need all these.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, there we go.
Okay.
It really would be super slick if like if the content over there ended up in here.
Yeah.
Pretty rad.
Or you just did it all in here,
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, again, you could develop custom components, so we could have, this all right in the same place. It's just would take time to develop it,
Yeah.
right? So, all right. Assign variables. So when we create a new task, somewhere after, we're going to have and all right, does this make sense? Let's see. We're going to create somewhere in this loop. We're going to create a new task. And then we're going to add that task to a collection of tasks so that later we can just update that or create that collection. Oh, okay.
Do you have a defined variable, or is that resource essentially? Would
I don't.
be your
Yeah,
definition?
yeah. I don't have. We don't have variables for these things, but
Yet we haven't played
yet, yeah.
Well, good news. I have that card, so I can create us a resource to. Now, does your assigned variable, is that like, are you looking at the iterator, like as you go through the loop, you're adding to the collection?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of we don't have screens and a choice set. No, I don't think. So I'm going to get rid of those and drop to 3. Draw 3.
So I guess I could make a couple different variables here. I could define the variable that you're assigning or looping over.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll create like an iterator variable so that within the loop, that's the thing I'm actually setting, and then I
Mm-hmm.
add it to the collection. Um, I don't know if that's similar pattern as like you have to act upon something within the loop to be able to create it, then add it to the collection.
Well, I think that's what here
Is
this
that what yours
new
is?
task. I have this assignment to a new task.
Yep.
We just don't have a variable there to represent new task, but we have the assignment, and then it's like later taking that new task and adding it to the collection. Um,
Let's see. So I'll make that I'll define that variable for the new task. Default value. This is going to be a task type. It might be handy to have like just a note section on these to sort of describe
mm,
what like we can see how we're going to configure it. But for me to remember, like, oh, that's the task element over that we're iterating over the collection
right.
with.
Well, yes, I could see that, but could also, if you need to put a little note here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
for right now, and
Mhm.
say, oh,
Yeah. Totally.
okay, then this becomes like an archive of, oh, these are
Mhm.
the things that we were missing
Yep.
when we did this.
A little smaller. There we go.
Is my turn.
Think you're yeah, you're good.
Okay, so I'm curious. We're coming up to about an hour. We've
Yep.
been doing this. What are your thoughts? Uh,
I think this is super intriguing. Like I think the I think the fact that it's non-linear, or you could play it non-linearly is kind of cool. Um, I think it's I think it's super handy for like some just for observing and kind of learning and like thinking and listening.
mm,
I think the only thing that maybe there's a mechanic around how to get through this deck, so that um, some things just aren't actionable in the
yeah,
in the scenario that we have. And is there a way to sort of, I can't just like mentally say, okay, get rid of all these cards or something like that. But maybe there's maybe you're just like I was doing. I was just sort of like looping through
yeah,
until I
yeah.
until I found something.
Yeah, it might have been nice to say, oh, it's record triggered. Let's get rid of everything that has screens.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the stuff that we know is not going to be useful,
yeah.
or basically, I mean, there's no, it's not physical. So we could actually say, like, you have your each deck per type of way it starts or
Hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
That might have helped. Okay. Uh, I'm going to. I'm going to do a fault. Oh, I don't actually. Oh, I do have that card here. I think at some point when we go update the, yeah, I'm going to use that note. When we go update the tasks, do something when if tasks cannot be created. That's it. My turn's done.
Easy peasy. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Hang on. I'm gonna draw my two here. Got to create some records with your task collection. Find that. Let's see. We're going to get this task. We got a resource around here somewhere, right? Actually, okay, so we don't have a resource yet for the. Um, we have the loop over the team member collection. We just don't have the team member collection variable or resource defined
Gotcha.
yet. I'm sorry, task collection.
Are you giving me hints on how to play my hand?
Nope,
Actually,
nope. Just
what do you think? Because I think, right, that this somewhere ends up somewhere here, down here, right?
hmm
Like it's after it's after this whole collection
yeah,
business.
yeah. Sorry, I haven't been putting my cards in sequence. It's
No,
just
that's
kind of
okay.
off the top, but yeah, we'll do that.
Uh, okay. So then, like I said, we need a. I need a variable. What was that? Oh, task collection. It's a collection. Nope. Uh, yeah, thanks for the idea. I'm uh I'm set to win. So all right, so we got that very task collection. It's no more log to do. I came back to Tabletopia in time.
All right, what have I got here? Hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. We have the subject text template, new task, task collection. That's all we're creating. Well, maybe the jury's out here, but maybe we're gonna update the opportunity somehow to
Mm,
flag that this took place.
right, like a substage.
Yeah.
Like they it's close one and now it's in implementation phase or something like that. Yeah. I like that. Have you seen a make a decision card?
No.
Yes. I guess that's the problem with shuffling. Just by random chance, it's lower.
Let's see. We won't have any filters on that, but I will set. I'm gonna say stage, but maybe it's some other field. All right, so we'll say services. Create the tasks, and then maybe update the opportunity stage or something.
Mhm.
Lets us know that this thing happened.
Okay. I'm going to play call in action. And I'm going to say here, after the fault, let's see, create records, update records. Simple email action. Simple email.
So your email, this is going to be to the team members.
No, like, okay, if we couldn't, that's a good point. We couldn't create the tasks. Something happened. We should, who do we notify? Opportunity owner?
Let's see, who would need to know? The
guess
op
you're right.
owner, it could be useful.
Well,
I
let's just
suppose
start.
the team members could be, or the owners of the new owners of the tasks now, maybe. Hey, you've got work to do. Oh, I'm sorry. Yours is a notification about the fault.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I was thinking it's a notification that the customer service person, you have a new task. But I'm with you now. So
Right,
that should go
yeah.
to you and
It's
I, right, as the administrators of the the org. Maybe the op. Well, yes. There you go. Actually, send it to YCDTOSF. Yeah, we'll take care of that right away.
yeah, someone to just say, so this happened so that you
Yep.
can go do something. I'm thinking that like it could even just be generic, like all database operations,
Mm-hmm.
just let someone know, hey,
Mm-hmm.
this stuff didn't work. All right. I'm done.
My turn. Where'd my table go? Is your loop is going over the um, team members, right?
Right.
Could we transform that instead to map each team member into a corresponding task?
Huh. Oh, dang. I'm not familiar enough with Transform, but
Trying to think if it takes a collection on the left, which would be the team members, and then you can give it a collection on the right, which would be the tasks. And I think you can formula some stuff. It's not super elegant. Well, I mean our subject is the same all the time, but even just to seed, is the owner of the task the team member?
I think it should be, yeah.
Okay, so we could at least seed the collection with here's a bunch of tasks, and, well, let's see. Yeah, because they're all the same subject, right? And they're all the same, if everything else is the same. But can you, sorry,
But
I
it,
wish I had it up on screen because I think the missing bit here would be, well, and I want to set the subject to blah. I just can't
mhm.
remember if you can do like a little bit of ETL in them, but I don't remember if it lets you get that uh, that specific.
Do you have any viewers online that can tell us?
I have a couple. I was going to dig into
Pick
an
them
org
up.
real quick off to the side here and see if I can find a example.
Because yeah, we spent all this time in this loop, and now you're just going to get rid of it, the whole thing.
I'm gonna totally throw you off
No, I
here.
like it. No, that's great. Like we just get throw it all away and use a transform. That'd be pretty cool.
I love transforms for exactly that reason. It's like kind of making like instead of it's like set based instead of loop based kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But let's see, we can stop it.
I didn't know you can have a collection on the right side. What, or
I'm gonna fire up a flow and make sure I'm actually not talking crazy here. So let's see, transform. So if I make a task collection, okay, task collection on the left. Well, I guess it'd be task collection on the right, actually. So I'll make another. I guess I could throw this on screen. I don't know if that might make sense. 1 second. Ah. I wish OBS didn't default to showing your whole screen. It's like super fun. Come on, guys. You could do better. All right, let's see. That's
so while you figure that out, I'm going to take a 2-minute break.
yeah, cool. All right, so we'll make this a collection too. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to put it on this side. Oh, wait. Okay, it doesn't let me. Right. This is going to be the target here is going to be the object collection that we create. So I'll use my source data, I'll use my user collection. And the target data is my task. So then I can take the user ID somewhere. Oh, it's just ID here. Okay. I'm going to take the user ID. Nope, don't do that. So this is the sauce here. I'm thinking about the formula. So we'll take the ID and we'll map it to the owner of the task. We're going to take we're going to do the junky thing and just map something so that we can activate this. Whatever. We'll just map first name to subject. And then we'll tweak it with a formula. And then I will pretend like I remember how this format works. Collection of each item. We're actually just, we're just going to say, yo, new onboarding task. Does it let me do that? Yep. Okay. that's interesting UI to do that, but I think that'll work. I've honestly never done that, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Should. All right, Eric, I got it all figured out.
Oh, sweet.
maybe. Um, so I didn't. Well, I guess let me do one more thing here. Can I make a team members?
So what happened with the transform? Did it?
I think it's gonna work.
Oh,
Let's just see.
we're not really building it, so
Yeah. I don't have. Do you have to? Do you have to enable opportunity teams? I don't have it enabled. I can't remember if it comes out of the box or not. And this is just a scratch org that I'm in. But hypothetically, let's imagine, if we will. So left side source, I query out something. In my brain, I would want to. I hope I could query out opportunity team members and somehow know the user that's associated with that team member. So I've got a field on the op team member that
yeah.
lets me know who it is. On the target side, I create a collection, a task collection, and then I'm gonna map the ID, the user ID of whoever's in the team member. I'll map that to the owner of the task, and then I can do this kind of funky thing out here. I can fake a mapping, so I could take like first name and map it to subject, but then I can say, just kidding. The formula I'm going to use is something else. So it could
Hmm.
be the label for my subject.
Okay.
So then I would end up with basically the unless we need to do more stuff specifically against the tasks that's unique to each person, we have our collection of tasks ready to insert at that point. And then we don't have to loop. Never fully tested. I've never done this thing before, but I've done a lot where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to use some random object to map to. It's not actually an account, but it's an object that gives me fields to fill out, and then
Hmm.
actually do something with them, downstream from there. So, and this is actually creating the task, so it's a little more relevant. But
What I like is, I think maybe on a different, way that we would have done this, we would have probably just said, "Oh, it's a loop," right? Because
mm-hmm.
that's what we're used to. Maybe we didn't see the transform update in the latest release, or we're not sure about it, and maybe it just would have skipped over it. And now we're kind of forced to at least consider it
Mm-hmm.
because of the way that the game is going. It's like we have to at least consider it. It's there and see if it would work.
And not to completely throw us off course, but it's just sort of like, oh, hey, I mean, it's a game, right? We're having a
Yeah,
conversation. We're,
yeah.
we're experimenting, but that would be one play I could make. The other play, let's see, where did it go? That's funny. I lost my transfer. Oh no, there it is. And then I got two screen flow actions. So not going to take those. Nope, not gonna validate a screen. Not gonna call subflow. You think we have any subflows in this thing? I feel like I could over
I mean,
architect a
are
subflow.
you changing this to the transform? I think.
I don't know. Should we?
Yeah.
I'll.
Well, we can. Okay, so
We could
there's
put it right
nothing to
next
set.
to it.
Yeah, we could kind of just put this off to the side as
Mm.
like a backup plan, and
Do you have a transform
oh,
function?
oh, I don't have it in here. Let me give me 1 second. But it was a card. Hmm. All right. I'm going to need just a 1 minute to open up Illustrator.
Seem to be having quiet microphone syndrome on the
Here we
stream.
go. Here's your
Wow, you're
transform.
fast.
I had it already. I just forgot to
Oh,
save it.
gotcha.
And bring it in here.
Okay.
So,
Let's see. I'll copy one of these. Transform members to tasks. Bring to front. Our target will be the task collection. And I guess this one would be I'm gonna flatter the assignment, the field value assignment. So we'll make the owner ID. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna assume that there's a user lookup on
I think
top
there
10
is.
members.
Yeah.
And then we'll map that to the owner ID. And then we'll take we created a variable for task subject, I think.
Mm-hmm. Text template.
And then we'll map that to subject. What else do we need to populate on a task?
I usually just subject and description
Okay.
is a good start, you know?
So somehow we'll have to fill out a description. Possibly assigning another variable. Okay, I'm done. I'm making a mess of my discard pile over here. It's kind of embarrassing. Like you can really show people's like state of mind on this with this game. Like
clean that up.
it looks like I know. Is there like a fix it? I can rotate. Look at that flip.
If you shift and drag, you can, and then let's see, group. Nope, that's not. You could do something like this, and all right, let's get this out here. I'm gonna select it all, and when I drag it over, and when it goes orange, now
that looks so much better.
I have an idea. I'm gonna create a record. And I want to, let's see, so one of the things I like is like when you have custom notifications.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if we need a collection or one record, but that way it's like, hey, we've assigned the task. We don't need to, instead of emailing and saying, hey, you've been assigned a task, it's just, here's a notification, comes up in your mobile device or
Mm-hmm.
when you're using, and a little bit less intrusive.
Yeah.
So I will just assume it's a custom notification collection. And we'll have to create a so like op notification. Just anytime we have a notification about an opportunity. And I think it's the same thing. There's the subject. Description. And there's the related record. I don't know. That's probably pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Just get the idea that we're going to create a custom notification. It's going to be the team members. You have tasks, do your onboarding. It's for this opportunity. Click the link, go to the opportunity. And all right, that's my turn.
Cool. Let's see. Well, I'm cheesing out, but I have another fault that we can run if we're creating records here. Cheating turn. They're important. They're just kind of a bailout, but
No, I don't think so. Finally,
Eric, you wanna take like a quick 10-minute break? We'll
I'm taking my card back.
yeah,
Yeah, sure. I think that'd be good.
All right. We're at halftime here, so we'll
all right.
We'll do that. I'll get us. Let's see. We'll be back at time is it? It is 1:30. Let's come back at say 1:40.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, cool. I will mute all the things and we'll be back in a bit. I should cheat while Eric's not here. I'm gonna shuffle his deck. Actually, I have no idea how to do that. Oh, you're gonna be figuring this stuff out in no time, David. Hey, Eric. Oh, let me turn you back on. There we go. Oh, Eric. There
Sorry
he
about
is.
that.
That's all right. You still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, back a few minutes early. I'm armed with cantaloupe and seltzer water. I can only eat when there's a special guest. Otherwise,
Mm.
I just make a bunch of. Usually eat carrots too. It's like the worst.
Yeah.
All right. Back a few minutes early. I'm armed with cantaloupe and seltzer water. You hear the stream somewhere?
It's on my phone,
Oh, okay.
and I can't get it to stop. Give me 1 second.
Carrots too. It's like the worst.
Okay. Do you want to keep on doing this and see it through, or try a new use case? Or
Let's see. I feel like we're close.
we are, and I kind of want to see how it turns out.
I'm trying to think now, like
It's
what's missing, right? We're sort of getting down to like the what can we do to like what don't we have sort of
mhm,
side of the equation.
yeah,
We have the
and
conditions for the op. We're creating the tasks. We're turning the team members into tasks. We're updating the opportunity somehow to indicate this happens.
I got the magical. They're all the same number of cards, so shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have. Oh, um, make a decision. So, because what did you say at the beginning? If we don't have the products that need onboarding, then we don't need to do anything.
Yes.
So we need.
Everything we just built is not going to run if we're not hitting our criteria. Do you have like an entry criteria uh, element?
I don't. We could.
Or is that part of record change?
It probably should be. Um, but we're not going to know that. I don't think it can be part of entry criteria, right? Unless you.
Are we testing the? Is this testing the stage change or testing the existence of
Mm,
products? I guess you're that like, and we also, I guess we also have to test. Do we have any team members? Because we wouldn't need to transform if
Right.
that's not there.
Oh, you're right though. There is record conditions. Say
Oh, okay.
when the record is changed to 1, then
That's
we
right.
execute this.
Got it.
And I think if we do it, and I don't have anything to say like whether we mark it asynchronous or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the way this is set up. That's good feedback for me. But if it's asynchronous and you flip it back, then it just that asynchronous doesn't execute. Um, okay, but yeah, that was the decision is, do we even have products, right? So
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I like how Tabletopia, like, if you don't do anything with it, the table just starts to like rotate slowly, and then when you come back, it goes, "Oh, okay, come back."
that's right, right. We're and then there's default. I start drawing lines. So if when we get these records, if that resource is not null,
Mm-hmm.
then we will get records, the team members. Okay.
Do we have to do anything special if we don't have products, or is it just an opportunity that has no onboarding needs? Right.
Yeah, I think I don't know what we would do special like.
Yeah. Without inventing new requirements.
Right. Send an email to opportunity owner. Hey, we didn't do anything.
Yeah. Just
We weren't supposed to do anything, and it,
we're letting you know that we're doing something to let you know that we didn't do anything.
and,
I should. I'm gonna do a future episode on that where it just like notifies you about everything that happens in your org.
nothing happened, and that was what was supposed to happen.
We're letting you know somebody canceled the update of this record. They were thinking about changing it to this, but they actually decided not to. I guess you can't trap that. That's probably outside the bounds. But all right, I got to get some cards. I've been carrying these 3 around for a long time, and I'm just gonna wholesale swap my deck. This is really weird. Like when I try to flip cards, sometimes like the last card I flipped pairs up with the next card I try to flip, and then it flips. It does like a seesaw back and forth. Must just be a little glitchy. All right, here comes a whole new deck. This whole thing is pretty slick, though, I will say. Well, heck, none of those are going to work. If this was a physical game, Eric, how big would the deck be?
How big?
Like how many
In what way?
cards?
This was about 130 cards.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's that's not too many cards. That's a
No,
pretty normal.
I mean you get a Uno deck. It's like 110 or something like
Hmm.
that. So it seems pretty reasonable.
And that's like, hey, there's 8 cards of everything, but there are things that just don't come up very often,
Mm-hmm.
and there are things that come up a lot. So yeah, it's starting to struggle at what else can we do other than. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe
That could be it. Yeah. Because
other
anything
than
now,
you
I'm just
said
going to
you
be
wanted.
so narrowly focused on the card to get that
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just like more trouble than it's worth.
Because the only other thing you said is, just to decide that whether you had team members, whether
Mm-hmm.
to go forward. But I mean, at this point, I think it's like, to me, I see is it's about as close as we're going to get without having to just next jump in and start building it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I can't think of anything that we didn't table anything, right? To have to come back to.
we saw a
Seems
lot of.
pretty complete.
Didn't have a
Yeah.
loop, but okay. So
Now you just like there's a connector for Excalidraw into Salesforce, so it actually like builds the flow for you. Is that
oh,
is that true?
I was gonna say, really? Wow, that
That
would
would be
be.
wild. That would be pretty rad. I could see something like Lucid Chart or one of those doing something like that someday. But cool, man. So what what do you take away from this as like stuff to stuff to do with the deck from here or the game from here?
Well, definitely. I mean, we have some notes like add a description. Um, so a couple of different things to add descriptions. The cards for the most part seemed like they worked. I mean, we didn't test some other things, but uh, we were able to get through it. Now we know certain things, and that would be helpful. So, like an
Mhm.
addendum to explain, when can you use transform and stuff like that would be helpful. But then there's the internet. Just go look it up.
Yeah.
Um, I I kind of dig it. We took an hour and a half on a pretty, I think, a simple use case, but we're all this is new, never tested before,
Yeah.
new tools, and so like half of that time is just us just getting used to it. So I think it would have gone pretty quick enough. Uh, I don't know. I dig it. But of course I'm biased.
Yeah.
So
I
you
I
or
just think
maybe are
the
there viewers that have chime in and say like, what do they think?
yeah. If you're out there in internet land, curious if you have questions or thoughts, comments for Eric on the flow card game. I again like I think it just like creates an environment where this kind of conversation can happen, and it's like it's easy, it's light, but it also like we're both thinking, through the thing, so
Yeah, yeah.
there's no shortage of that. I think it's also kind of interesting, like we created the inventory here while we were doing this, like of the steps, and we're I think probably more exhaustive than I might be if I was like writing up a design document for this. Like it's kind of like the discovery of like, oh, I can play this card makes me say, oh, I need to do this with it, right? So I'm not
Hmm.
leaving any assumptions to the or leaving anything to assumption while while I'm designing. But I think it's pretty fun. I think it's hey, I think everyone will come up with house rules, too, right? Maybe some
Right.
people
Yeah,
like
I think there's small things like maybe 4 cards was not enough. We talked about like different decks because
mhm.
we're spending time like getting rid of these screen things
Yeah,
because it just
yeah.
doesn't make sense. And
Like maybe if the back of the cards was even just color coded, so and then
mm,
the other side had so you could at least and maybe you and I both have our own deck, right? So
mm,
we're not doing a screen flow. Okay, let's get rid of all those. We don't
yeah,
need to. We're not going to play those ones. But I don't know.
Yep.
I just think the tactile nature of it is that's not just in a Lucid Spark or something like that. I
Mhm,
think is kind of cool.
mm. I could imagine sitting down with like a product owner, and
Hmm.
just like you what would normally be discovery questions in a workshop. And yeah, okay, you could do sticky notes and a whiteboard and put it all up there, but this I just feel like this opens some kind of creative juices to think
Hmm.
like, well, you know do you want to notify like this, like the custom notification? Do you want to maybe notify people that they have tasks? Like how do uh, and have that just conversation with the person that's deciding that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, let's do that, or no, let's not do that.
but you're right, and I think like being able to like show like here's a thing we don't know right now is like kind of like that's gonna like we didn't know what field was gonna or I forget what we were
Yeah,
what's the field on the product that actually tells us if it requires onboarding or is that it's like well it's actually something the salesperson is expected to do when they add opportunity lines. It's like oh really like okay let's talk about that just so we have an understanding that that's going to actually happen or what have you.
right. It could be new. It could be something that exists,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's oh well, we're gonna have to do this, and then now we have to start talking about like how does that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Does it is it because it could be that the salesperson checks it. It could just be part of a like the product to object that says this product
Mm-hmm.
always requires onboard, and then it could be all kind of different things. And so okay, now we're gonna create another flow
Yeah,
to handle that. Um,
I
well,
heard that there was a product 3 object coming at some point.
no,
I heard a little birdie. I don't know. Maybe somebody was just messing with me, but uh,
I think it's product 2.5.
that'd be great.
It's a fractal
A
product. It's not
fractal
quite
product, yeah.
2, not quite 3. It's in
It's
between
like
fractal products.
2.27 repeating. Yeah, cool, man.
Uh, well,
This was
we could
fun.
try something else, or we can call it here.
What would you like to do? I'm up for anything.
Um, well, okay. How about this? I'll
Mm-hmm.
put it out there. So the other, well, I thought we'd get quick. I was like, I have 4 use cases. Somehow I thought, yeah, we'll get through them all.
That's how every show goes for me. I think I'm going to get this thing done, and then I'm like 2.5 hours later, like I haven't produced anything.
No,
So
we
I'm in
didn't
with
do
it.
anything with screens, and so one of the
You want to do a screen?
thoughts was, how we did the pairwise assessment thing at the beginning to
Yeah.
comparing 2 different things. Like
Yep.
we could just give it a shot and start with something that we know is a screen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll skip over the start, thing and just say we know it's a screen flow and think through what would it be like to say that if we had 3 objects, there's a deck and it's a many to one relationship with a record called cards,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another one called comparisons, like we were doing comparisons, and then you pull in the title and description and you look at 2 and you decide which one you want to keep, and then
Mm-hmm.
it pulls up the next one. That way, because that's probably the only thing here that we didn't touch on is that hey, we have all these UI components and whatnot. And,
Oh, I was wondering if those were in here somewhere.
yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
and we're not going to get through it, given this the time, but we could at least
Yeah.
give it a shot. And let me do a copy and paste this whole thing down here. Oh, didn't get it all. Really doesn't want to copy it. Okay, well, come on. Or did I lock it? Oh, that's what it is. Unlock. A better way to reset all this. All right, compare records, and then here, I'm about to restart everything, so it's all going to go back to this. Okay.
Goodbye, game. It's like I flipped the table. So I'm done with this.
There, that actually, not in this one, but in, it's called Tabletop Simulator. You can flip the table
You can
at
flip
the
the
end.
table.
And everything goes all over the place, and so we don't need these. We know it's a screen flow. So I think 4 cards was not enough. So, or okay, so yeah, kind of the thing like, hey, I've got a deck. There are multiple cards, and then a list of comparisons, and so then it's, how do I come into a screen flow and show 2 things, let you select one, and then get the next one, and then get the next one, and get the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Up for the challenge?
Let's do it.
I have no idea how it's going to work.
Let's try it.
I don't. All right.
So
I'm taking 7 cards.
I'm going to take 27 cards.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
You want to kick it off? You want me to?
Yeah. Well, let's see what I got in here. And this flipping mechanism is so weird. Like, I do not understand what it's trying to accomplish. Eventually, they all flip over. If I could show you this, like, I must be doing this wrong. This is really crazy. I got to show you this. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Let me see here. Onyx Calidraw, Tabletopia. Here we go. Let's see. Is that me? No, that's. All right. Oop, that's too big. I'm sure there's a real easy fix for this, but here's what happens. I click one, right? I highlight one, and then I hit flip, and then 2 flip over.
I'm not seeing anything flip, or is that mine? Oh no, I still see my screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. Is that not on? Are you looking at the stream? I'm sorry.
I was looking at the stream. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, I guess never mind. I'll figure it out. Why don't you kick it off while I figure out how to flip over my cards?
All right. Let's display a screen. I think we're going to need. Oh, you know what's not here? Buttons. I forgot. There's. I forgot we have buttons now, don't we?
We do.
Oh. Display text. Okay, so we're going to need a screen that at least shows something about each card.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one you've currently said is the best? And then what's the next one to compare to? And I'm going to call that my turn.
So let's see. And this is just your card, right? Or is this comparing our two cards?
Wait a minute. What's that? What are you looking at?
Oh, I'm sorry. Looking at this the screen. I might be lost. So this view is showing your card versus my card, or your card versus the next card that you're comparing against. So you're cycling through at the start of the game.
Yeah. So okay. So, well, you said you wanted something weird.
No, I'm down. I just want to make sure I'm.
Oh yeah. So think about remember like when I was talking about like MIT and the projects and
Yeah.
And so you take and say, hey, I'm gonna compare two things, and that would be I got a title and description of two things,
Mm-hmm.
and then somewhere you say this is the one I want to keep. Say I want to keep this one, and then this one goes away, and so then the screen comes back and says, so this is what's the card that you currently think is the best one, and then this one just is cycling through the next cards to compare them to. So then but you should have that, and I don't have it here, but the option to say, I think this is better than this one, or I think this one is better than this one.
Mm-hmm.
So we could, maybe it would be better to do this and have them next to each other,
side by side.
two columns. Yeah.